Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. This is the finale to the Sister Wives Tell All. That's right. Sister Wives Tell All Part 4. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. You can see me. I see some ones already populating the chat. Thank you so much, Kitty. First one in the box. Courtney and Figuerella. Hopefully, I got that right. Lizzie B, of course. Let's get it. Yeah, you know what, guys, I got to tell you, there's some things that we're going to talk about tonight that I'm going to roll into the open the door, let you guys in so you can drop your thoughts on what you think happened and what you observed happen tonight. And I'm going to keep it all the way a buck as I always do. Okay, I'm going to have to tell the truth, at least my truth, my version of the truth, the way I see things, because tonight for me kind of tears it. All right. I'm going to give you a little preview of what I'm going to say. And it's simply this. When push comes down to shove, this is the reason why this show should probably end. Okay? They're with Cody and Robin, the two of them, I don't know whether they're doing it on purpose or they're just being arrogant, asses about it, what the deal is. But at the end of the day, I feel like either one, they're trying to be jerks, or two, they're trying to sabotage the show. Either way, you can't be in a canoe with somebody and you working your ass off to go forward, and all they trying to do is go back. All they trying to do is put you in a thing where they're trying to row on one side and get you to turn in circles because they don't want you to go anywhere. They don't want you to do anything. They don't want you to get beyond them. More importantly, they don't want you to leave them. And I think that that's 90% of it. It's not there was an old saying that I like from Houdini, at least, or it was credited to Houdini, as far as I know. And the saying simply went like this. It said, Houdini, according to as I can recall, he had said, "It's not enough that I win, but all others must lose." And I think that when you look at this situation for Robin and Cody, it's not enough that they have the big house, the big cars. They got the $2 million mansion. Cody's driving around in a AMG Mercedes Benz convertible drop top sports car. It's not enough that they have all these things. But these women, they have to have nothing. That's part of the struggle, I think. It's not just like when he's trying to take Cowdy Pass and all that. Like, I do think that there's a financial gain as to why he's trying to garner as much of the resources as he personally can. Part of it is because he has to be able to take care of himself and keep the lifestyle that he's grown accustomed to. But I think another big part of it is the fact that he doesn't want them to be successful. He doesn't want them to have, okay? He wants them to be broke, down, sad, and desolate, upset, crying or sitting on a corner somewhere, crying in the gutter because they're basically nothing without him. And the fact that they've went on and they're living their lives, and in Christine's case, she's happy with what she's doing as far as being with David. Mary's case, she's happy down there in Padawan, or as I like to call it historically, Padawan. Shout out to my Star Wars fans. And even for Christine, or I'm sorry, Janelle, where she went out and she was able to purchase the land that she had always talked about buying. Because if you go back, because I read the book with Jenny from Senior Perspective. We're doing a review. If you read the book, one of the first things you learn about Janelle as she describes herself, she says that a big thing that she was a fan of was being on the land, camping out, working out, things like that, working outdoors. And that's what she was always interested in, all the way through to when they were talking about building them houses in Arizona. She wanted to create like a little garden area for her to have and to cultivate agriculture. Then when Garrison, Big G's, he bought his house. He put a planter boxes in his backyard for his mom because that's what she was always interested in. And now she's living that dream with 159 acres down in North Carolina. And I think that that's what's burning Cody up. I think that that's burning Cody up because she went on to be happy without him. But most likely, and if we're going to be all the way honest, she's probably happier with the life that she's crafted out for herself than she was with him. And I think that that burns them up. So it's not enough from that perspective. And from, like I said, the quote that I want to give Houdini credit for, just because I haven't gone back and verified it was from him. But it's not enough that Cody and Robin are winning. But these other ladies have to lose in order for them to feel like they've accomplished anything. You could make that same comparison. Why is Robin so desperate to have the OG3 back into the fold when it comes to the the polygamy and them not leaving the marriages or leaving the family? Because she needed them to lose. It wasn't enough that she was the favorite wife, that she had this man's time and attention, that she was getting him 100%, but she had to get him more than everybody else. She had to be the favorite wife. She had to be the one that he was looking towards, that he's the one that she's the standard bearer. And if the other wives leave, she can no longer be the standard bearer. So I think that that's part of the problem. So again, when we look at this, I think that there's a lot of self-sabotage that's happening. And a lot of what I'm going to get into is based on the lies that they've told. You can't get on a reality show and admit that you've been lying the whole time and expect to be long in that reality show. What job? Forget a reality show. What job can you work where you go in and tell your boss, yeah, you remember my resume? Lies. All of it lies. I never worked there. What are you talking about? College. Remember I said I graduated from Stanford? Dude, I don't even have a GED. I don't have a degree. I don't have a high school diploma. What are you talking about? I can barely read my own name. What do you mean I'm fired? That's how that would go. Like, there's no way you're keeping that job. You can't have any job where you just go in and tell them that the last 15 years, regardless, I did a good job when I was here. I did my job. And all of a sudden they want to let me go because they found a little thing like I didn't have none of the qualifications that I put down on my application. On my resume was a complete load of bullshit. All of a sudden they want to fire me. Yeah, that's what happens. And if you're doing a reality show, one of the prerequisites is even if you come up with a fake ass storyline, you better learn that storyline. If you want to keep your job as a reality star, you better learn that storyline and you better live it like it's true. That's the first part, because you can't have your integrity questioned. And there's a lot of integrity questions that we're going to go over as we go through the show. All right, let me just give a quick temperature check. Okay. Yeah, let me we had some super chats before we even got started. Let me click them. You know I'm about to drop Betty Aldridge. Betty Aldridge with the $2 super chat. Burn it down, James. I need it. LOL. Yeah, we're gonna burn this bad boy down. Thank you, Betty. Then Betty sent another one for $5 super chat. James teared them a new one. LOL. I don't want your brimstone tonight, like no other. I need the distraction. Okay, so we're gonna do this for Betty. Give Betty a little something. Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. This whole thing is bananas. Nutso bananas. Oh, wait, we got one more coming in. Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. It was easy for Robin to act like she didn't know where all the money went when she had 3 other women and their kids to blame it on. Yeah, that's another thing, like the accounting issues. Okay, it's easy to sit there and pretend like, I don't know what happened. Who took all the money? I guess we were spending it amongst everybody. You know what I mean? This sounds like one of them dirty cop situations. I had a couple buddies working police force, more than a few buddies, but guys I went to school with. And that's one of the first things you learn in the police academy. Be careful about taking stuff, right? Because it leads to corruption questions. Did you cut this guy a favor because he was giving you free sandwiches? Or when they were giving you free coffee? Is that why you were fixing tickets for them? That kind of stuff. But when it comes to corruption in the police department, if you with the wrong people, they always try to make sure you get a little taste. So that way, when things go wrong, you're involved. So if it's $100,000 on the table, they make sure that you take at least 1,000, put it in your pocket. You walk out that door with it. I don't care what you do with it. Just put it on a night out, put it on a vacation, throw it down the sewer hole. But one of the things going to happen here today, you're going to walk out of here with that money, right? Because if we get in trouble, we taking you with us. And we want to make sure that you're just as involved. And when I hear Cody talking about like the finances, I think that's one of the things that he did. He made sure that he would spread just enough money around, So when questions came up about where the money went and what happened with it and how the money got spent, how come we don't have any, he could sit back and say, remember that time I got Logan that t-shirt? Remember he was in college and I bought him that t-shirt and he had it in school. Yep. That's where all that money went. There was $300,000 in the damn bank account. We got $50 left. Where the money at? Remember that? Remember Logan? Call Logan, ask Logan. That type stuff. So they always try to get you a little bit involved. But thank you so much, Brittany. Now, Brittany, I'm going to drop the I'm going to put the call-in thing in early. Drop that call-in link. Ciao. So we got 3 minutes of hotness, y'all. Just setting it up so we can roll right into it when it's time. All right. Thank you so much, Brittany. Appreciate you. But yeah, so let's talk about this dang on episode. Let's talk about this episode. First, why talk about Cody and Robin? Like when Cody and Robin get up and they start off with the whole, why they gotta talk about me? Like, why they always gotta bring me up? I mean, like, always got me up in their mouth. Why can't they just live their life, be happy? I don't think they happy. I don't think they happy at all because they always talk about me. Here's the thing, genius. And I'm looking right in the camera and I'm speaking directly to Cody. Why are they talking about you? Because that's what the show is about. What are you talking about? Why are they talking to you? Of course they talk about you because that's what the damn show is about. That's like saying you love watching Law and Order. That's my favorite show. I love me some Law and Order. I love seeing the police investigation and how they get the witnesses to start, figure out who's involved and what happened. And then they get them into the box. And then all of a sudden they start asking these hard-ass questions and they start trapping them. And that's when the lieutenant come in and be like, book them, Dano. And you lock them up. That's a different show, by the way. And then they say, put them in jail. And then I love watching the whole police investigation and the questions and the interrogation. But why do they always have to focus on the court cases? I don't understand. Because that's what the show is about. If you just want to watch a cop show, you watch a different damn show. If I wanted to watch a show, and this is actually twofold. If I wanted to watch a show about a scripted storyline out show, I will watch a scripted show. If I'm watching a reality show, it's supposed to be about what's going on in these people's lives. And fortunately, because Robin and Cody were so entangled in their lives, and they are a focal point in their lives, and a major reason as to why they still have a show today is because the OG3 decided to leave Cody, which I think that if Christine decided to stay in season 16 and she didn't put Cody out, I think that show would have ended around season 16. That might have been the last season. Maybe it would have stretched to season 17. But because she decided to leave, that's when Sister Wives experienced a big boom. That's part of the reason why so many people are watching the show now. They had a second breath in the show. because of what happened with Christine leaving Cody. So, as part of that, and producers being producers and Hollywood being Hollywood, when they see something that works, they gonna ride that mother until the wheels fall off. They not gonna stop. So that's why it's so important that the wives continually talk about you. And if you don't like it, here's the thing. If you don't like it, get the fuck off the show. Stop doing the show. If you don't want them talking about you, leave the show. But as long as you're on the show and you guys aren't contributing anything else, the only thing Robin and Cody are contributing to this show is that they are the bad guys. They are the foil to the OG3. If you don't want to do that job anymore, then you have to leave the show because there's no room on it for you. It's just not in the thing. If it was room in it for you, and here's the secret to the sauce, Playboy, in case nobody told you. If there was room on the show, and they thought that the fans were interested in your love story and your relationship with Robin, you know what would have happened? You know what happened? They would have, and I mean this part of it, they would have focused on that part of the show. You can't tell me that after a year of filming, the little bit of bullshit they showed about you guys, they didn't have mounds and acres of film footage that they could have showed to demonstrate how much you guys loved each other and how much you wanted to be with each other and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They had that, but they chose not to do it. Why do you think that is? Because they don't think that there's an appetite for the fans to watch it and consume it. That's why they're not rolling it out. That's why they put so much focus on Christine and David's relationship, if you haven't noticed. They could actually have something because they talked about their investment properties. They talked about things that they had going on because that's their feelers. Like that's them feeling the audience out to find out if there is a appetite to watch this type of show. That's how they roll shows out, spinoffs out. If you go back to, if you were old and like me, and you go back to Happy Days, when they rolled out Chachi and Joni, when they rolled out Laverne and Shirley, when they rolled out any of the spinoffs that they had for the Charles and Charles, not well, the Scott Bale. I guess that was Joni and Chachi. When they rolled them out, you know what they did? Mork and Mindy, okay, was actually a spinoff from Happy Days. When they rolled those shows out, you know what they did? They sampled a little bit. They gave them a little more storyline to find out if the show was popular. And if those storylines were popular, guess what they got to show? When they showed your stuff, you know how many people, and if I just use my very small sampling of the people in my chat, you know how many people in my chat said, you know what I need to see more of on my TV? Cody and Robin. That's what I need in my life. I need baldy locks and eyebrows in my life. That's what I need to complete my Sunday. I can't go to bed without watching them tell some lies to my face. Make me feel like I'm married again. I haven't had anybody say that shit in my chat. Nobody has said that. There's no call for you to get your own show. I have had calls for Janelle and Christine to have a show. I've had calls for Mary and Jen to have a show. I've had calls for Christine to have a show just with David. I've had calls to have Janelle just have a show with her daughter Madison down there on the farm. I haven't had any calls for Cody and Robin to get their own show. In fact, there's more people who say they just wish they weren't on the show at all. So with all that data, if I just have a small sampling, and if the larger sampling that TLC is running on the audience is reflective of my audience, I am telling you right now, if you Cody and Robin, your time in the sun, as far as this show is concerned, is tied to your ability to play ball and stay relevant in these other women's lives. Like it or not, that's just how it works, baby. Baby. Baby, that's how it works. Sorry, not sorry. Here's what it is. There was also a point, and this is where I'm like, they need to go. This show needs to be over. Where when Cody had said, hold on, and when Cody had said he feels sorry for Christine and David because they need to move on. Again, he's also calling for an end to the current iteration of the show. You know, when you say you feel sorry for Christine and David because all they do is sit around and talk about you, all they doing is being worried about what you doing, what you not doing. I bet you they not. I bet you they not, because you're not achieving the type of things that they're achieving. You're not making the kind of money moves that they making if all they doing is worried about you. It might feel like that because during the time, and I'm sure it might have even come up in the chat, I haven't really looked, but I'm sure the reason why you think all they do is focus on you and all they doing is talking about you is because while they're shooting this, I think it was like a month or so before, a month, 2 months before they started shooting the tell-all, Cody got served with some child support papers. So now he think that, oh, they all up in my business. They all worried about what's in my pocket. Why don't y'all stop pocket watching me and worry about what you got going on? Here's the thing. When you share a child with somebody, you share financial responsibility for that child. So that means that they're going to be up in your business. They're going to get lost in the sauce. And that's the way it should be. Because, and these are one of the things that you need to take into account before you start playing hide the pickle with people and you want to complain about having to take care of kids. Sorry, that's part of the damn deal, dude. Okay? Now, I have some stuff I want to do, and I have an announcement about how I'm going to move the channel forward. Some additions I think will be kind of cool, and I think will be beneficial to a lot of you guys watching the channel and hopefully make a lot more sense as we move forward. But when it comes to like just responsibility, like I'm I'm by no means a prude. I'm not that guy. Okay. I'm not that guy. I'm not Mr. Everybody gonna be living the right way and the way I feel. I'm not that dude. Okay. I have as far as my personal views are concerned, I guess I'm what they call liberal when it comes to a lot of things. I understand a lot of stuff. I understand. Acknowledge and recognize human nature, sexuality, and all that good stuff. Fine. But with that aside, I still recognize that there is a point where we can insist upon and recognize and adhere to sexual responsibility. Okay. If you don't want to make people, that is one of the consequences of you laying down with folks. There's a possibility. I don't care whether whether you're strapping up, whether you're taking pills, you're on the depot, you're taking shots, you got one of them little inserts that they put in you, whatever the case may be. There's always a possibility that mistakes can happen, and you could hit the copy button and make a person. Okay. And when you say, well, James, I took all the precautions. Here's the problem with that line of thought that I have. When you engage in that type of activity, that's the purpose of the activity. Okay. It's not like when you having a good time, fun in the boudoir, the whole purpose of that activity is not to put a smile on your face, to encourage late night eating, or encourage like like a representation of why you should smoke cigarettes. whatever it is you do afterwards, right? The post-season coitus, post coitus experience, whatever. That's not the purpose. Okay, not to make you feel special. All right. The whole purpose of that activity is to make people. And part of that responsibility is that when you engage in that activity, you have to recognize that if you make a person, whether intended or not, whether happy or not, that is your responsibility, which means that just because you happy with your wife and she likes spending money and you like spending money, that doesn't mean you don't get to be responsible for the life that you created. Okay. So just because Christine have it, okay, Christine got it. I mean, Sharon, her and David just out buying houses. So why she trying to get my money? Because her money is her money. Your money is your money. And just like she's responsible for the care, upkeep, and financial responsibility of taking care of that child, you, my friend, also have responsibility in that because you helped to create said child. What's funny to me is he's mad about Christine taking him for child support because he has to take care of the child. But when it comes to his justification in stealing that, I'm sorry, his justification in breaking up the money the way he is, he always uses the fact that he has 18 children. 18 kids. You don't want to be financially responsible for them, but anytime you can get a financial advantage by using or proclaiming, saying their names or hollering them out, you're quick, fast, in a hurry to throw that card on the table. So here's the funny part, dude. You're going to be responsible for these children. Now, my suggestion always to dads or non-custodial parents is to try to work it out with the custodial parent. Try to work it out between you two. Don't encourage the courts to get involved. If you can work it out between you two and you can come up with some kind of arrangement, make the arrangement and meet that responsibility. Send them their check early. Fuck it. Pardon my French. Okay, slip that one in there. Send them their check early. You supposed to send it to them on the 15th? Let them get their money on the 1st. You get a little bit of extra grease in the wheel, send them a little birthday present. Send them some money just because. Now, I would also advise that, you send it in the form of a check, back in the day, a written out check, or, now they have like the Venmo and all that where you can keep records of sending the money. Like, absolutely. You want to keep the records of sending the money. Don't give cash. That'd be a dummy. Okay. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your responsibilities. Right? That's just the thing to do. I don't know. When did that stop being cool? When did that stop being cool? I don't take care of none of my kids. Like, when did that start being a thing? She got it. She got it. She didn't make it by herself. Why she got to carry it alone? She didn't make the load alone. Why she got to carry it alone? I don't care whether she got the money or not. She's doing so much better than me financially. Okay, that's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. That doesn't abdicate your responsibility. Sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but it is what it is. The funny thing is, in connection to, Cody doing the whole, I don't know if I want to keep this going. Why they always got to talk about me? I'm also tired of Robin saying that everybody is a liar. And again, this is time for the show to end. Everybody in the world is lying on her. Everybody is trying to misrepresent her. When we watch the show, we got it all wrong. We have these negative thoughts, and it doesn't make any sense because apparently we're jerks, whatever the case may be, right? But whatever. There is another part where I want to point out that as I'm watching the culmination of Cody complaining about everybody talking to him about him and Robin saying everybody's a liar, this actually reminds me of a point that later on Suki had asked them about. When we gonna be able to get everybody on the couch for the tell-all? And I used to be one of those people too. I was like, we need to get everybody out there so that way they could be a confrontation. Somebody jump off some foolishness. They could look them in the face and be like, bow, right on them and start telling the truth. They could mix it up and these ladies could stick up for themselves. Last week, I had a revelation as far as like the realities of putting people who potentially or allegedly or however I can disclaim that from being the actual case. But if there's a possibility that these ladies were mistreated, whether physically, emotionally, financially, which we probably could establish watching this show, but if that was genuine and that was real, that putting them on the couch would be ineffective because there are many a times when you have a victim who is sitting across from a person who has victimized them, that they respond in a hostile way or they stick up for themselves. Too oft, those victims fall back into their victimhood. They fall back into that place where they were being victimized by that person. And that was a concern that I had. But there's another aspect to my line of thinking as well now. like when people say they want the entire cast together on the couch, you know, this is what the tell-alls would look like. The OG3 would be accused of obsessing over Robin and Cody, and they would be called liars for 4 damn hours. 4 tell-alls, 4 hours of just they're obsessed with us. Why they keep talking about us? We're awesome. They suck. That's why they're so focused on us, because we're amazing. They're just jealous. And anything that they say that we don't agree with or makes us look bad, that's them lying. And then no matter how much they argue or fuss and fight and go back and forth, at the end of the day, that's all it would be. It would be they're jealous and they're liars. They're lying ass jealous folks. And we would be giving, by putting them all on the couch, you'd be giving too much shine and too much power to Robin and Cody in that situation. This is kind of like one of the things that I be thinking about when folks say, yeah, I wish I could be over there and I'm going to say that, but they, you know, you might have a vision of what you would say, but too often people don't take into account the stupid shit that's going to come out of the other person's mouth, right? The off the wall stuff, like stuff you never even heard of. And they're going to swear up and down that this is absolutely what happened and that you're 100% wrong. And you're just trying to make them look bad because you're the liar. And then that puts you on your heels, and then it takes the conversation into a different direction. So I don't know why we will put them on the couch together. And then, to be honest with you, here's the other part of that. For them to be on the couch together, that would mean that they have to do another season together. And I think that time has passed. There's no reason why they should be doing another season together. Like, they'll have the Cowdy Pass stuff, and maybe they'll talk a little bit about the child custody stuff, but they both have, Christine and Cody have gag orders as far as the court is concerned. So I don't know how much of that they could actually share. And even then, like, how much truth are we actually going to hear from Cody and from Robin? Cody's going to get up and say everything's a damn lie. Robin's going to get up and call everybody a liar. And then she's going to say that she claims she doesn't know what's going on. It's going to be completely ridiculous. So from that respect, I think that if they do a season 20, the way they should do it, and it sounds like they're going to do a season 20, the way, in my mind, the way they should do a season 20, they should do a season 20 that closes off or puts a bow on all the open issues, Coyote Pass, the child custody stuff. And then from that point, that's where you springboard into your spinoffs and you get that done. Because if you don't, like, if TLC, here's another secret, at least in my opinion, if TLC tries to hold on to the idea that they're going to be able to drag this show out for another 15 seasons, all that's going to happen in my assessment is they're going to drag this damn show out, and any interest that people might have in seeing a spinoff will get drummed out of them and beaten out of them by the time, just tolerating another season like the one we just watched. Because I'm literally watching the tell-all, and so much of that shit, I'm like, this was this season, wasn't it? This was, yeah. Yeah, they were sitting in a restaurant having a conversation about Cody saying how much he loved Robin and how, she had the thunder cooch, and everybody was amazed and he was so in love with her. And the God is my wingman and all that bullshit. Like, that was this season, wasn't it? Wow, okay. Because nothing really of note happened this season. Like, they literally could have took season 18 and 19 and combined them, and it would have been, we wouldn't have missed a step. And they probably could have cut down on some of the, I'm going to be honest, they probably could have cut down on some of the episodes. They could have combined 18 and 19 and cut down on some of the episodes, and we would have been fine. You know what I mean? So they're at that point. Next thing I wanted to talk about, let's see. Robin says she wasn't tracking issues in her family. Then you're neglectful. You're a neglectful, horrible partner. If you are in a marriage or relationship and you have problems in your relationship and you had no idea that you had problems in your relationship, it's not like you were having problems in your relationship and everybody was keeping the shit secret. These women were very vocal about the issues that they were having in the family. They were very vocal about it. It wasn't like Christine kept that shit to herself. I'm unhappy. Cody, in fact, that's all he said. He's like, oh, Christina always complains. So she was complaining. Janelle was complaining. Mary was complaining. Mary went out and found a whole guy that thought she was talking to, the catfisher, because she was unhappy. And Robin is sitting there still playing. I had no idea. If I believe what you're saying and I take you at your word, you're a horrible partner, because that means that things are happening in your relationship and you're taking zero accountability for those things happening in your relationship. You have no idea. So I'm going to believe you. You are a terrible partner, Robin. And that's just how we'll classify it. Next up, we had Cody claims to be a counterpuncher, says he was mean because they left and they were mean to him. It looked like they left because you abandoned them in the first damn place. And you know what I mean? This is kind of the parlance or the play area for a little child. This is like a childish ass excuse. You were mean to me. What the fuck does mean? What does that mean? I was mean to you because I didn't want you to mistreat me or take advantage of me. I didn't want you to just treat me any old kind of way. That's me being mean to you. The fact that you stand up for yourself is me being mean to you because I don't want you coming by every morning and kicking me in the nuts. And all of a sudden, because I object to that, I'm being mean to you. Well, my foot hungers for the caress of your testiculars anatomy, and I don't understand why you were going to deprive me of that, because the shit hurts. That's why they left, because what you were doing hurt them. You hurt their feelings. You made them upset. You made them sad. They weren't happy. So they went to go find their happiness. You were okay with the situation because you found your person. You were happy in this situation. It might not have been ideal, but you were happy. And you were willing to suffer. They weren't. And good for them that they weren't willing to suffer. You know, there's some things that I could criticize OG3 on, and I could run the gamut, run the list on it. But the one thing I can't hold against them, like I've said before, like, you know, there are a lot of women who aren't in the same financial situation when they're in these similar situations and they can't leave. And so they have to have more courage in leaving these situations because they're walking out of their relationships with nothing to close on their backs or potentially without their children. And that wasn't the case for the OG3. They had homes, they had money in the bank, they were good financially. It was just an emotional tactic. However, we can't take away the fact that this still requires courage. It requires courage for you to look at your situation and the failures in your relationship and say to yourself, you know what? I need to get the F out of here because this is not good for me. This is not helping my situation. This is not feeding my soul. So I need to peace out and go take care of myself. Because this mofo that I'm with, this Mickey Ficky, he ain't trying to do nothing for me. He only looking out for himself. And I say himself, well, he looking out for Robin. No, he looking out for Robin because Robin feeds him. Robin does for him. He's looking out for Robin because Robin is doing something for him. And he's looking out for that relationship because he doesn't want that shit to stop. That's all selfish. That's all selfish. So no, he wasn't considering you. He wasn't thinking about you. He wasn't, putting you first and foremost. You weren't even a question as to whether he gave a shit about what happened to you. And because that's the case, bump him. Bump his ass. He's done. Let that be that. It's over. But the whole idea, like, oh, they was mean to me. Grow up. Grow up. It's hard to take somebody serious when you say shit like that. He was mean to me. What are you, 4? He on a playground somewhere? He was calling me snotty nose baggy pants, and I didn't like it. These women wouldn't let me cheat on them. And I say it's cheating because we'll get into why I was cheating in a little bit. In fact, we'll get into it now. Let's talk about the first meeting lie. And I had some high hopes when I saw the preview of Mary throwing this out. That first meeting story was lie. She didn't introduce nobody. We met Robin together. You didn't meet Robin together. And that's the thing that annoys me. I'm going to keep it all the way above. This is one of the things that, like, I know Mary just saw Cody's description of the Thunder Cooch. Like, oh, so we walked by, that's the lightning shot me in my ass. Oh, I started getting the heebie-jeebies. I started catching the vapors. Woo! Right? I know you watched that. You watched it with us. Get Cody sat there and said that. And you sat there and said, oh no, we met Robin together. Obviously not. Obviously not. Because they said they met in church. He said he was hard gritting her. You know what I mean? Like that he chewing something. Got rhinestone. Got that rind booty. You know what I mean? Like that nasty. Ooh, what are you looking at? You look like you smell something, player. Stop it. You look like you hurt. You in distress. You can't feel your toes. You look like you're smelling your own wig. What's happening? Your hair products turned on you. You look like your BO took a left. You know what I mean? Like, what the shit? Like, let it go. Oh, Robin. Robin, what you doing over there? And all this in church. You're supposed to be thinking about the Lord. You thinking about the devil. Come on now. And then like the whole first meeting lie. Like he talking about he held the gaze for a long time. Like, whoa, we was looking at each other. We was just locked eyes and I held her gaze. And he kept saying that shit like it was impressive. I held her gaze. And then my favorite part of the held her gaze thing was this is probably inappropriate because she's probably married. What? What? Wait, what? She's probably married. That's why it's inappropriate. Dude, you're married. What are you talking? You're married. It's inappropriate for you as a married person to sit there and hard stare and grit on somebody when you're married. Even by the parlance of their rules, it's inappropriate. He's not supposed to be out because I remember, and I can call up the damn tapes when he was on Good Morning America or one of them shows early on season 1. I think it was season 2 after they started going doing the whole talk show route. They had talked about like, how do you meet a sister wife, Cody? When you go out, how do you meet a sister wife? And he sat there and said, well, it would be inappropriate for me to go out and be looking at women and staring at them, hard gritting on them and trying to get their attention and talk to women sans my wives. That would be inappropriate according to our religion. But that's exactly, according to his story now, he's basically describing the guy who was inappropriate back then. He said he sat on those stages talking about that guy who would go out without his wives and be on the lech for a bunch of women is an asshole. And now he's basically saying, I'm an asshole. What? That's where we are. And again, it goes back to the fact that you said that you were married. You said from the beginning, you were married. You had 3 wives at home. You had 12 kids. You had 1 on the way. All that. 12 kids. I guess he didn't have 1 on the way at that time he met Robin because they dated for a year. So you got Christine pregnant. Probably when you got home from a date with Robin, hot and bothered. That's that whole that's the stripper experience when you send your significant other to the shaky butt and they come home after getting all worked up at the downtown shaky butt. They come home and all of a sudden they want to ravish your ass. They on top of you. That's because they're not technically with you. They with whatever they saw at the shaky butt. Right? And that is a possibility. He might have knocked Christine up, pardon my expression, but the way they talk about it and the way he's treating it with disrespect, I think that is accurate. He came home and banged out Christine because trying to bang dents out of her ass because at the end of the day, he was thinking about Robin and the way she made him feel. So Christine at that point becomes an outlet. It's not a romantic gesture. It's not a source of him demonstrating how much he cares for her. It's just a way for him to be able to knock something down because he got worked up. And we'll talk about the whole previous experience in a minute. Let's see. Christine, she says this was further deception and beyond. And I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Christine said that because he met the way he met this woman, these folks, and he was dealing with Robin, that it was actually very deceptive and it's betrayal. Absolutely. Especially if this is the first time she heard about it. And I take it a step further. This is not the story we were told. And I appreciate Cody and Robin coming out, clearing the air, and demonstrating once again that I was right. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody want to go back and watch some of my old videos about how I thought they originally met? It's more along the lines of what they're admitting to now. Oh, James, you like a psychic person. You sitting there, you like the great Kreskin. You just put the envelope on your head and you make predictions. Bullshit. I just been around. I'm not new. And I bet 90% of you guys ain't new either. You've been around long enough to know that this whole story didn't make no damn sense. When they were telling the story, you'd be like, okay, yeah. And they say, well, you're not supporting this. This is a Jussie Smollett situation. Jussie Smollett was the guy from Empire that said the MAGAs jumped him in Chicago. And the coldest day of the year in Chicago, like 40 below. He was out getting a Subway sandwich. Said that some MAGAs came down and beat the shit out and put a noose around his neck. Turned out he hired 2 African dudes to beat him up. And they put like a clothing line around his neck. And he was wearing the shit. And they said, and I agree with Dave Chappelle. He gave a rendition of it. And he said what I've been saying the whole time. He said exactly what I've been saying the whole time. They came out and the LGBTQ plus community and some folks, Jussie Smollett's camp came out and said, you guys ain't supporting us. You ain't supporting me. And Dave Chappelle said exactly what I was saying. I'm supporting you because I'm not saying shit because your story sounds shaky as hell. That doesn't even make no sense. You saying 2 guys are just driving around downtown Southside Chicago looking for a random black dude in 40 to go below weather? You nuts. Ain't nobody doing that shit. And especially, what are you out getting a damn Subway sandwich for? I would get a Subway sandwich if it was 80 degrees nice outside and I was sitting in a park and I was literally passing a Subway sandwich. Like, what are you talking about? If I was passing a Subway, I probably wouldn't even stop in a Subway to get a damn hoagie. I would go somewhere. I'm from the Philly area. I know what hoagie's supposed to taste like. Okay? I'm not stopping in Subway to get a damn sandwich. Because it's not even a hoagie. You know, they don't even call it a hoagie. You call it a sandwich. Okay? First thing, me not saying nothing initially about the level of bullshit that they were pushing out as far as how they met, that was me supporting you, Cody. That was me supporting you, Robin, because it didn't sound right to me when I first heard it. And I didn't say anything until maybe last year before last, I started saying, you know, guys, this shit don't sound right. And here's the thing. I noticed how Cody, then he comes out when it gets to be his turn. He turns around and he blames the internet because we sniffed out his bullshit early. And at this point, I think that Cody saw some of my videos because I know for sure, I don't know about nobody else, but I know for sure I stood on the fact that I didn't think that none of that stuff was true. I didn't think that none of that story was true. And he talked about how we are all wrong and / we're all liars. And if we say, wait, you know, from my estimation, it looks like he prefers Robin over the other wives. His response was always, that's a lie. Take that shit back. Now he's Mr. Everybody hates love. The world rains down wrath because I lied. Robin and I didn't love anybody else. Just because I lied and said that me and Robin had this special love that only the 2 of us felt, and I never was in love with those other women. Now all of a sudden, now you want to shift it. Now you want to shift it. Before I was a liar when I said you prefer Robin. Robin's your favorite. That's the one you want to be with. You have special feelings. No, I do not. I love all my wives. They're all different women, and I love their individuality and everything that makes them special. Yes, I do. Then all of a sudden, you get backed into a corner, all your wives leave you, and you're like, I said from the beginning that these women weren't shit. And I've only had eyes for Robin. I'm in the mood for Robin simply because she's near me. And when she is near me, fuck you, dude. I called it from the beginning, and I told you that you liked her before, and everybody saw it. That's why nobody liked Robin in the beginning of the show, even before I started watching the show, much less before I started reviewing it. Part of the reason why none of the fans like Robin is because they knew that you preferred Robin, and you were about to blow your damn family up. That's why it was what it was. And here's the other part about it. I don't know whether he's crazy or just stupid. How do you deny some shit, then go back and not only admit the thing you are denying, but then claim to be the vanguard of that position that you're now taking? All in the same sentence. These people all got it wrong. These internet folks with their chatter and their little stupid ass YouTube, TikTok videos. They're making accusations and claims that they couldn't possibly know the truth because I am a good person. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, everything they said is true. You jackass. Like, you idiot. Like, you can't have it both ways. Pick a side, pick a lane, and stay in it. Pick a side, stay on it. If you're going to tell a lie, you got to ride that lie. That's the reason why I don't like lying, is because you got to ride that damn lie. There was another part where Janelle reveals if she had a long courtship with Cody, she wouldn't have married him. and I'm not going to say that she's wrong. And at the end of the day, I'm not one to sit here and pretend like you have to be with somebody for a year or 5 years or 10 years, because in the grand scheme of things, you could be with somebody for 5 years and know very little about them because you don't ask questions, you don't inquire, you don't have the inquisitive nature to find out what they're about, what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve, where they're trying to go, what they're trying to get out of the relationship. If you don't ask the questions or try to have those conversations, you'll never know. So it's not so much a time thing, because you could have somebody who's with somebody for 6 months to a year, and they dig so deep, they have these deep conversations, they talk, they disagree, and they vent everything, they talk it all out, and they just know each other better. So I wouldn't say it's just necessarily that if Janelle had courted him or dated him for a year, 2 years, as long as he dated Robin, that she would have made a decision. I make the argument or take the position, not to, Janelle knows Janelle better, but I would take the position that in this kind of case, that if given the opportunity, I would press Janelle and say, or give some pushback and just say, Janelle, what you mean is if you knew Cody as well as you did, and given more time, there's a possibility you would have known him better, and therefore you would have made a different choice. I think that that's fair. I think that that's 100% fair. I didn't realize how big an asshole he was until I talked to him for 10 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would even say, like, before you make these like big life decisions, have at least one good argument under your belt. Why do you say argue? Why do you got to disagree, James? I say you should have one big disagreement, simply because if you have one good big disagreement, you learn a couple things from that disagreement. Not just the fact that you disagreed on something, but you also learn how that person fights. Okay? Learning how they love is cool, but learning how they fight is required. I think it's required. Because there are people who love so deep, and they love, they in there with the love. They in there like last year, and deep with the love. But the second they, as passionate as they are about the love and the emotional part, when it comes to the disagreement, they don't have red lines. They go all in. They say the wildest shit to you. And I'm gonna stop talking about the stuff I got coming up, but I definitely want to do a video on this one couple from 90 Day. The one lady is a stripper from Tijuana. And the second she gets in a disagreement with her fiance, girlfriend, or whatever, the first thing the woman says to her is she calls her a whore, she calls her a stripper, she calls her a home wrecker, and all this other stuff. Say she using men for money, and you ain't gonna use me for money. She said a whole bunch of stuff to her, right? Then she turned right around and apologized and say, "I don't understand why you can't forgive me. I mean, we both hurt each other." What? How you fight is just as important as how you love, as far as I'm concerned. Because there's some things you can't go all out and just say whatever you want to say to me. With my relationship with my wife, and I'm not saying our relationship is perfect. I'm just saying that for me, this works because when I'm dealing with my wife in any relationship that I have, I understand enough about the people that I'm with to know their buttons, know their weak spots. I know their soft underbelly. Just like in those situations, they know mine. And I know that if me and my lady, we got into a disagreement, I could end our relationship quick, fast, in a fucking hurry by saying one thing. One or two points we going back and forth, and I fire those off. That's the nuclear option. Like there's no coming back from it. Right. And same. I know she knows enough about me, things that I'm sensitive about, or whatever the case may be, things that would hurt me if she said it, that there's no going back. If she said it to me, done. Right? There's no more conversation. There's no, oh, we can maybe work it out. We just talk to each other. We just have a conversation. There's no more conversations. Conversations done. And in that position, as crazy as it sounds, and this is just me off the cuff, when it comes to that, you say the wrong shit, you go too far because of the way you fight, you could you could have your privilege of having conversations with me revoked. You could renege your privilege on having conversations with me after that. You say the wrong shit to me the wrong way, we no longer have conversations. Well, I just want to give you my opinion. I don't give a shit about your opinion. You can take your opinion, shove it up your ass, and you can waddle on down the street because I don't care what you have to say anymore. They're like, it's like that. It's like that. Oh, it's like that all day. Okay. We Cardi B up in this joint. You beef with me, you beef forever. Like, they'll be throwing dirt on both our graves and the beef will still be alive. You go to certain places, that's where it is. And I think that that's how you see. Because when Cody was supposed to be the man and so in love with them, he's he's the guy that's going to take care of us and make sure we're okay and make sure we're financially set because he cares about our happiness. But when you started fighting with him and arguing with him, that's when you saw Mr. Senior selfish and he decided he wasn't going to give you jack shit and he was going to send you out into the world without. And I think that there's a subtle difference between the two. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, and since we are talking about like some of the stuff that was going on prior to marriages or whatever, let's talk about this premarital relations issue, okay? And I would say that Christine called the whole premarital relations issue the right way. Okay, she was right where you need to be logical. Where she went was where mine went. Cody and Robin have been lying this whole time. Cody admits that he had indiscretions in college. Okay, and this is something that Christine just found about sitting on that couch or sitting and watching the episodes. Okay, that Cody had these indiscretions and he was messing around in college. He was doing, which, for the normal folks, for the normies, I guess we're the normies. That's not a big deal. Somebody was messing around in college. Ain't that what college is for? That's why you pay all that tuition. Right? Right? They make movies about college, relations in college. Are you kidding me? But we have a whole question when it comes to his ethics and where he was, because he had did this thing which wasn't a big deal but he lied about it, which makes it a big deal, right? It makes it a bigger deal than if he just would have came out and said, yeah, this is my experience. I did this. I messed up. I slipped up. You know what I mean? I was with a young lady. It started getting kind of hot, getting kind of heavy. We said stop too many times. We said no, no, no too many times. We said I better go too many times. And we went back at it. And one thing led to another. Bingo, bango, experience. That's how the shit happens sometimes, right? You just don't know when to get your ass up. When you say no, everything should stop at that point. But if you say no and you come back and you start back on me and stuff, then it's going to kind of go back to where it is. And that's how you wind up in those situations. College, high school, sometimes, whatever. But that's where it is. And then as far as Robin is concerned, I mean, not to be crass about it or a jerk about it, but I mean, it is what it is. You have a living, breathing receipt that she was messing around prior to being married, and a living, breathing receipt of her indiscretion. Kind of is what it is. This is not to mention the fact that she was married previously. Okay, so she has experience. Like, this isn't somebody who's a high schooler who's never, been with another person, and they're getting into these relationships and they never experienced the full throat. Oh, the full throat. Jesus. Hard pause on that. You never experienced the the full depth and breadth. Well, it's probably just as bad, if not worse. You never had these relationships before, and because you never broke that barrier down, right? Then it makes sense that you might not have experienced these type of relationships, so therefore you might not have the desire, the overwhelming desire to experience these type of relationships. But if you know what the good is about, it's kind of hard to be like, I know what this is all about, and I'm good for a year, because that's how long they were engaged. He was staying at her house for a year, so like I said, hug too much, kiss too much, talk too much, think a little too much wine, or in their case, soda, fizzy pop soda, whatever. None of this is a big deal for 99% of us. And I've said that before. None of us, I don't think any of us would like raise eyebrows because you got kids or you've been married before. It's a big deal, I guess, in their community or in their society or their little religion. So it struck them a little different. But because he's choosing to make it a big deal, the questions naturally come up. Because Cody lied about it, then the questions naturally come up. Then Robin lied about how they kissed. Even on the stage tonight, she sat there and lied about how they kissed. Oh, he just kind of stamped it. He just reached across and basically headbutted me with his lips and to seal the engagement. And that's the last time we kissed. And like, he would peck me every now and again, but pause. He would peck on me every now and again, and that was pause. That was like our relationship and how we kissed and stuff. But maybe she forgot, and this is where being an honest person, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember a whole bunch of stories, and you don't have to try to cultivate your story to whatever storyline you're trying to tell. But I recall a time when Cody snuck over to her house while Christine was in labor with Truly, so he could swirl his tongue all around Robin's mouth, while his other wife, his third wife, was in the hospital, high-risk pregnancy, having their baby. That experience was before they got married. So it wasn't like they were married and then he went over to see his other wife. He left his wife to go see his girlfriend and get schmecked up with his girlfriend, go to sloppy town with his girlfriend. Like, and I don't believe anything they say. So when they sit there and deny shit, I don't believe you. You're liars. You're liars. So that begs the question, why would we watch a show that involved or revolves around them? So they could lie to us more? That wouldn't make any damn sense. And then, of course, Robin was only talking about people who only knew them for about, she said at one point that people look at Cody a certain kind of way because people only knew him for about 3 or 4 years, those last 3 or 4 years where he was struggling. Look at Crazy Pants. You do realize you've been on the TV show for the last 15 years, right? Everything that you have is based on a TV show. It's not like you were suddenly doing this show. They were shooting the cameras and the crew and stuff was like way down the block, and they started shooting you guys 15 years ago with surveillance cameras and drones and shit, and you had no idea that you were on TV, and you just found out tonight that, oh, well, I've only been on TV. You guys were only doing the confessionals, and I only saw the guys with the cameras in the last 3 years after the wives left. Oh no, babe, we've been filming you for the last 15 years. We had like the pinhole cameras, we had the clock cameras, we had the nanny cams, and that's how we shot the show, guerrilla style, baby. That's how we did it. Oh, you didn't know? Like that did okay, maybe. But you were going on shows. You know that you were signed up for the last 15 years. And it's insulting to the audience members and the people who took time out of their Sunday. Every Sunday for the last 15 years, people, Sunday, Monday, whatever, people have taken an hour, at least an hour, to watch your show. And you're basically telling them everything you saw is a lie. You're telling them that none of that mattered. And it's somehow we have no idea who Cody is, even though we watched him for the last 15 years. You do realize that some of this time that you guys were actually filming together is longer than some people have been in relationships. There are people who don't have relationships that last 15 damn years. I'm talking about with friend relationships. People might know y'all better than they know some of the people they hang out with. And you talking about that nobody know Cody. It's insulting. And this is, again, this, like, as far as I'm concerned, if I was, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be 100% honest. If I didn't have this, if I wasn't doing this show, I wasn't doing the YouTube channel, I might have stopped watching Sister Wives. And if I didn't stop watching it before, this actually might be my last season watching it, because one, they aren't showing anything. They're kind of rehashing stuff that was done previously and is lazy. Two, everything that we do watch, it is framed as, this is what's going on. This is my reality. This is what's going on. These are the hard questions and hard issues that I have to deal with. And then you come out years later and say, yeah, all that shit was a lie. So basically, I wasted my time, is what you're telling the audience. You wasted your time watching this show. And as far as I know, like, I'm not as successful in the show business as Robin and Cody. But as far as I know, you don't get to insult your audience and tell them that they dumb or they don't know what the fuck they talking about or they're wasting their time and think that you have long in the spotlight. That's just not a thing. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going. And this is also part of the reason why I think that Cody and Robin are on a mission where they're trying to burn it down. Because if you think about, and this is the last thing I'll say, then I'll open up the floor. If you think about how the production shot side of these shows work, any show, whether it's reality show or even scripted shows, there has to be approvals, contracts, and a lot of behind the scenes stuff done even before you start filming. They have to start filming whatever they plan on doing. They have to start filming. If they were going to roll out a show for after season 20, they would have to start filming it now. Okay? They would have to start filming the spinoffs now. And if they have a spinoff planned after season 20, because again, I don't know where the show would go, Sister Wives show would go. And to be honest with you, I don't think they have any road to tread on Sister Wives, the show. So whatever they're planning on doing, they have to start doing it now. They have to start doing it now, which means they have to start filming now. They would have already had contract negotiations. They would have already had production approval. TLC already would have greenlit it. There's a whole bunch of meetings and things that would have taken place. And if they already started putting those things in place, and Robin and Cody, and here's the jacked up part about it, when you're on these TV shows, You sitting there be like, what? What do you mean Christine got a phone call? What? She talked to TLC and they negotiate another season. Babe, did we get a call from TLC? No, we didn't. We didn't get a call from them. Okay. I wonder what that's about. All right. Wait, what do you mean Janelle has already started filming? Babe, did you get a call about anybody coming by the house filming and you didn't get that call? They didn't show up a lot with no means. And more importantly, they didn't show up with new paperwork and new contracts for you to sign. You know, Cody and Robin would know by now the day if the show is short-lived and whether they're going to continue beyond this. So I'm curious to see where it goes. And we'll see what happens. But let me jump over. I want to drop some let me check the super chats and then we're going to get into the phone calls. All right. Let's see. Might put it over my other screen because this one is crazy. All right. Here we go. Oh, Daisy Reyes in the house. Down there. Super chat. Okay says he's in love with R because she's spoiled only. Yeah. I only love Robin because she's amazing. She got the thunderclapper. Like you talk about Robin like she's Thor or something. She got the hammers of Thor. Robin and Mjolnir. Bring it in justice. She gonna bring the hammer. Put the hammer down. You want me to put the hammer down? I'll put the hammer down. And as crazy as it is, this is gonna be disgusting. Some of y'all close your ears. The crazy part is he gonna be like, I'm gonna put the hammer down. You want to put the hammer down? Get in that missionary position, girl. I'm about to put it on you. We gonna go super freak. We gonna go super freak. You mean you gonna leave the lights on? I don't know. That's crazy. Traditional man on top. Yeah. Assume the position. Thank you so much, Daisy. I apologize. That was disgusting, James. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That was disgusting. Too far. I'm actually holding way back, but we're gonna do that. We get it done. Next up, we got Kathy Mosey, $5 super chat. Happy Father's Day, James. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Happy Father's Day. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you now, as a father, it's one of the greatest adventures that you can have. You see this from my daughter learning to drive. Shit. Like you start out, boy, you like, I'm a man, I can handle this. You be in that car for like 20 minutes. You get there steady as a rock. You leave that nervous fucking wreck. But like, how is this world safe? Oh, but thank you so much. And as a father, I'm gonna tell you right now, every father, no matter what they tell you, we're always jealous of Mother's Day on Father's Day. You want to get into a restaurant? The absolute easiest time to get into any restaurant you want to go to is Father's Day. Mother's Day, that bitch is backed up. Okay, you go to a restaurant, you're gonna wait for 2 hours to get seated. Father's Day, place is empty. You know why? Because they make dad's grill. We got to grill our own food and shit. Get out there. Happy Father's Day. Get out there and make us something to eat. That's all right. I love it. I make food for my family. Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Kathy. Appreciate you. It is what it is. But you know what? The whole thing is, and this is what I say, you know what the deal is when you get into the shit. So don't sit there and cry and complain about it because now you in it. You know what it was when you got into it. Stop it. Next up, we got Kathy Ferran, $2 super chat. Happy Father's Day. Thank you so much, Kathy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Next up, we got a YouTube is my time machine with the $5 super chat. YouTube is my time machine. So all Cody and Robin were doing was sharing church kisses. Even she doesn't believe that lie. Church kisses. Yeah, right. You kiss on the forehead, kiss on the cheek. That's how I know that shit was vanilla. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Oh yeah, I'm so in love with him. We crazy with together. Oh, it's so wild and so nuts. So how were you guys when you first met? Was a lot of passion? Yeah, it was a lot of passion. That's why we would peck each other on the cheek and we would hold hands. That's how we got down. That's why I think. That's why I think Robin says, there have been fans, and we're gonna get a little nasty, but there have been fans who have speculated that Janelle was the one that was tearing him down. Earth Mama, she was the one that was breaking his ass down like a lawn chair. Okay, and Robin, the pretty shy wife, that maybe that's why he said that. I never really thought about it. I never made that connection. Maybe he's like, my pretty shy wife, my shy wife who's so shy and reserved. Like, I thought it was kind of weird the way he kept saying, like, emphasizing shy and quiet. But it could have been, especially when he's thinking about Janelle. Janelle, boy, she curl your toes. She got that, she got the thunderclap on Janelle, boy. She hit you with that lights on, lights off, like the clapper shit. You know what I mean? When she get in there. But they were like, what about Robin? She's quiet and she's reserved. It's all right. She's pretty. I like looking at her and stuff. Yeah, but that Janelle, though. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Janelle was in there, fucking turned his ass out like a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't take it. That's why he was there crying, trying to get her back. Just one more time. Because if you remember, when they went on their little honeymoon anniversary or whatever, or they went out for Janelle's birthday or whatever it was, and he took her to the restaurant, my man thought he was getting in there that night. Those who know what I'm talking about. He thought he was in there for sure. And he was happy he was happy. My man was happy as hell. I'm just so happy I'm taking you to the most expensive restaurant ever in Arizona, and we're going to party our asses off. We're going to drink our faces off, girl. And plus, I got the hotel. We're going to get into it. Janelle's like, we just friends. He looked like he was ready to put that car up a tree. When she said, you're not going to get none of this, I ain't wearing my good drawers tonight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't trim the lawn. Like when she said that shit, my man looked like he was ready to put that car in a ditch. So yeah. Church kisses. Talking all crazy. I know the Hunter's like,
settle down, Johnny Appleseed.
Settle down, Johnny Appleseed. Next up, we got Kathy Ferran up in the house. Moose Thunder Cooch let off spark and Cody was hooked. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was either that or herpes. Oh, excuse me. Allegedly. We don't know anybody's medical condition. Okay, just because you was sitting there grinding them legs, you be thinking, ooh, she rubbing them legs like a cricket, Jack. I got her dancing in that chair. That's that thunderclap, boy. I got it. That gaze got it. Nope. That's because she got an itch. Okay. She got an itch that need to be scratched. That's why she dancing around that chair like, I'm so uncomfortable. That's why you thinking, oh, man, I'm turning her out, boy. Look at that. I'm going to keep staring at her with my eyes. Get it going. I know. She needs some of that cream. Allegedly. I don't know what's going on in her pants. I don't know what's happening down there. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that you would even say that, James.
Settle down, Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, this is crazy. This is definitely the season finale. And I feel it too. Like I think that there's a point where I'm a little more 525 super chat. I didn't know you could do odd numbers. Okay, Kathy. Kathy just make it happen. Kathy be doing stuff. I don't even know what the hell Kathy be doing. Like, how did she do that? Hey, Kathy OG, triple OG. That's why. But yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm just at a point where the show has me frustrated, and then maybe it's ending at a good time. That way, I can recoup and regather, compose myself so that we can continue on with the observations. But right now, I'm just over the show. I'm over this foolishness. Brittany, not Brittany, $1.99 super chat. We got y'all dummies in 1080p tonsilling. Yeah, right. Y'all said you denied that this happened. I went to pecked on the cheek, and it was a little church kiss, and we were kissing each other like we were at a 5th grade dance, on boys and girls leaving room for the Holy Spirit. And you gave Robin a look. Because it wasn't a thing where it was this just happened, I was saying goodbye, and it's just how we say goodbye. You gave her the look. She's asking you questions. You stare at her, again, back with the long gaze, and you just walk out the house. She followed behind you. Y'all still mic'd up. So everybody hear y'all out there swapping spit for a good 5 minutes. And then when the camera crew come out, all of a sudden Cody running off like he got away with something. And they're like, come on back, because we already know what y'all was doing. We might as well catch it on tape. And that's when Cody was like, look, I'm not going to be here kissing my girlfriend and I got a wife in labor. The whole point is, and at that point, this is where it is for me. This is how you know that you were doing the wrong thing. Because if you recognize it would look bad that you are there kissing your girlfriend because they asked you to when you have a wife in labor, then you never should have took your ass over to her house in the first damn place. You never should have left your wife in the hospital in the first damn place. You knew the shit was wrong, and you knew and understood that it made you look bad, but you did it anyway. And that's why you're an ass. Thank you so much, Brittany. Not Brittany. Appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. All right. And we have unlimited lipstick. Janet with the $6.99 super chat. So true, James. Shopping in Scroty. Shopping in Scroty. Shopping. Trying to gaslight the wives and the audience. You're on the camera. Don't be cute. Yeah. Don't lie. Don't lie. Say that shit with your whole chest. If you were proud enough, and here's the crazy part, if you're going to be on a reality show, recognize you on a reality show, and when you do stupid shit, say that shit with your whole chest. You know you doing some foolishness. Say it with your whole chest. Because if you're going to sneak off and do it, like when Cody snuck off, I give him credit for trying to sneak off and kiss Robin. Then he got caught, he had to do it in front of the camera. But then at the same time, if you're going to do it, then after that, it's the hell with it. It is what it is. Be that guy. You know what I mean? Say it. This goes back to the thing that I always say with the politicians. It always kind of jacks me up when the guy or the usually it's some dude be cheating on his wife, and then he get caught cheating on his wife, and he got to do the press conference where he apologized to the constituents, and then he have his wife standing there next to him. And I've always said, bump that shit. You cheating by yourself. I wasn't there when you was cheating. I'm not going to be there for the apology. And at the same time, if you're going to say something or do something, make sure your apology is just as loud and as raucous as the offense. And when it comes to things like this, if you're going to be wrong in the thing that you do and you did it on TV and you're proud of yourself for doing it, then stand on your own too. Don't back off of it now because you look bad and you got the feedback and everybody's like, you're an asshole. No. You stand on it. I mean, I don't care what you think, because that's that when you did it, that's what you were saying. I don't care what y'all think. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to be me. So stand and be you. That's all I'm saying. You love Robin more than you love everybody else. You don't give a shit what's happening with these other women. You displayed that for 15 damn years on camera. I'm happy in the fact that you're finally acknowledging it. But at the same time, don't ask me to forget that you lied about it for the last 15 damn years. You don't get to lie to me about some shit for 15 years. And because now all of a sudden you had a change of heart and you want to admit it, I'm all of a sudden supposed to be cool with the fact that you just been lying to me for the last 15 fucking years. Sorry, not sorry. This is a question of integrity. And this is what you teach your kids. This is what I taught my kids. The whole reason why you tell your kids to tell the truth is not just because it's the right thing. It's the simple fact that if something happens, I need to believe you when you tell me what you want to tell me. If you say you didn't do some shit and I'm like, if my son go to school on Monday and the teacher say, yeah, your son said, I heard or I saw your son stealing. And I look at my son and I ask him, did you steal some shit? You better not have stole some shit. But, you ask him. And if he look me back in the face and say, no, I didn't take that. No, I didn't do that. Then I go from what my son said. We're going to move from that. But if I know he's still at the house or he's dishonest at the house, when I get to the other place and somebody accuses him of something, even if he says he didn't do it and he denies it, that puts me in a situation where now I have to look for third-party eyewitnesses. I got to look for cameras. I got to look for video surveillance. I got to have some extra thing. I got to hear more about the story. It's not a one-stop thing where he just denies it. And this is the problem. If I know that you lie about stuff, I know you try to create storylines. I know that you're dishonest about everything you try to do, and you take the position that you don't want us to know things, and you try to hide things back, and you try to cover and conceal things because it may look bad, and you're not willing to share it. Then why would we give you another show? Why would I invest more time in watching you lie so that I can give you a check? Because at that point, like, guys, look, when it comes down to it, we might not be stroking the checks out. We might not be writing the checks from our bank accounts, but let's not make any mistakes. By us investing our time into this show, we're creating an environment where TLC is willing to write them a check. They're willing to write them a check because of our investment, our time investment. If we're not willing to invest our time in their shit show shenanigans, then there's no way in the world TLC is going to continue writing them checks. And the fact that Cody and Robin don't understand this, again, puts us in the parlance of a middle school age child or a bratty ass teenager. I don't know how low or how young I want to go yet. And that's kind of where I'm at. So thank you so much, Unlimited Lipstick. And I think we have one more. Unlimited Lipstick, $6.99 super chat. It drives me nuts that Scrody acts like he's being treated. He's like, wait, hold on. Hooked on phonics, work for me. It drives me nuts that Scrody acts like he's treating his wives to big time money dinner. Bitch, bitch. Those wives, mine is Robin, work. That's their money. And you know what? And that's a fair play. It's not just the fact that they work, but if I am contributing to a bank account or family fund or whatever the hell you want to call it, however you want to title it, I don't care whether I work, whether I inherit the money from my parents. I don't give a shit if I found like gold coins at the end of a damn rainbow and I got a leprechaun chasing me because I stole his pot of gold. If I put that money into the family fund and you're just merely a person who is administrating that family fund, I'm not depositing this into your bank account. I'm depositing this into our bank account. You don't get to pretend like you're doing me a favor because I want to take out my fucking money. It's not a favor to me if I want to take out the money that I put in. Now, granted, If I put in $50 and I come back with a bill for $300, then yeah, I'm asking for a favor. But if I put in $500 and I want to get a 20 spot, you don't get to pretend like all of a sudden you're doing me a damn favor because you're giving me my money back. I'm not kissing your ass for my money. Sorry, not sorry. That's not the way this goes. And I like I 100% agree with what Unlimited Lipstick is saying, what Jan is saying. Like, you don't get to treat me like you doing me a favor. You going out of your way. Look, Janelle wants to be this independent woman, and she wants me to work for her. Well, I'm not willing to do it. I don't have to do her that favor. No, I'm not asking. Janelle wasn't asking you to work for her. She wanted to have access to the money that she put in, that she invested, because it was supposed to be her term based on the rules that you guys set up for the family fund. That's not you doing her a favor. That's not you doing extra work. If you don't, and here's the thing, if you're in charge of the family fund, this is like you sit down with your kids or your family or your friends and you playing a game Monopoly, right? Or Life, or whatever board game that you prefer to play. And in the game, somebody has to be the banker. Now, this isn't your money as a player. This is just a job or role that you volunteered to do. If halfway through the game, because you're mad that shit ain't working out the way you want it to work out, you don't want to be the banker no more, no problem. You don't have to be the banker anymore. We can get somebody else to do it. We're not asking you, when I say I want to buy Park Place, I'm not asking you for a loan. I'm just merely asking you to do the transaction. That's it. And if you're incapable, you're incompetent, or you just can't handle the fact that I landed on Boardwalk and now I'm about to get Park Place and I'm about to load that bad boy up with hotels and shit because my money is stacked up high because I got the whole opposite corner. and you sitting in jail and you mad because you got to do the transaction, that's your problem. That sounds like a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem, baby. So sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? Give me my little deed. Let's keep it pushing. And that's basically what he was doing for the family fund. It wasn't his money. He thought it was his money, and that's part of the damn problem. He thought it was his money. It was the family's money, and he was merely an administrator. That's it. That's the way it was supposed to be, at least to my understanding. But thank you so much, Unlimited Lipstick. Let's get to these phone calls after I give you a little something. All right. First up, we got hold on. Where's my okay, hold on 1 second. Y'all motherfuckers gonna learn how to say the word picture. So help me God. Yeah, they say picture. Picture. Yeah, first call we have. We're gonna bring up Michelle from across the pond. What's going on, Michelle?
People. Hey, beautiful people. How are you all doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Yes, you can hear me. Hi. How are you all? I hope you all had an amazing week since I last sort of opened my big gob. Yeah, can I just start this with the public safety warning? Yeah?
Yeah.
Everybody, don't be laying down anyone you love in a bed of roses, trust garden. You'll come out looking like a vegetable strainer. Please don't do that. How the hell is he Janelle's intellectual equal? Who came up with that? Who? Not possible.
Right.
Yeah. And him saying that self-praise is no form of recommendation. It really isn't. I've just got visions of him doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They thrived once they left him.
Mm.
You're not special. You weren't enough. Are you mad at them or are you mad at yourself? He's obviously mad at them. That's not what, but I mean, what an absolute tool. What an absolute. And to say crazy stuff like, well, they should be giving me money now for Robin's 2 little ones.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You want to be thanking your lucky stars that up till now you've been dealing with them as they have dealt with it so far. At this point, where I live in England, and we're not as badass as America, but even on the street where I live, if you owed somebody £10, that's the difference between them being able to feed them and their kids for a day and not.
Mm.
And you've got how much of their money?
Right.
And I'm not going to say allegedly. They are thieves. They have stolen. They have duped. They have conned. And on the other note, I know you're used to me just going on and on and on. I'm not saying now's any different, but I will say this. My thoughts tonight, when I think about the pure gluttony of Cody and Robin and the absolute ridiculousness of the surroundings, the possessions, the vulgarity of their need for stuff. I think about a conversation that I had earlier today with the real heart of love, what love is all about. I think of our Miss Betty. That's who I think of.
Mm.
And you. And Brittany, not Brittany, and all the people on here that, and I think of those people that tonight are wondering if they're going to lose their home in them floods. The bereavement that Miss Betty's had. The absolute atrocities that are going on as we speak, not just in the floods, although can we all send a thought to those people? Every time we think of what Cody has got on his walls, can we remember, and I'm sure we do, how lucky we are to have who we have, not what we have, who we have. Because long after that stuff is gone, and Miss Betty said to me earlier tonight, I won't say it all because it's not fair, but she's right. Stuff can be taken from you in an instant. I don't wish it on Robin and Cody, but they could lose their house in something. They could lose all their ill-gotten gains, their swag. That could be gone if something went wrong. And who and what would they be left with? Because you can't cover yourself at night and keep warm with dance moves. I'm sorry, Cody, but you maintain your relationships like you dance. Badly. Very badly. Your kids, your family and your friends will get you through times of having nothing else. But stuff does not get you through times of having no family or friends. What you've done is you've betrayed these people. And whereas most of us would have the good grace to go, I'm a colossal asshole. I shouldn't have done that. You deserve better, and I am genuinely sorry. He's saying, how dare you hurt me? How dare you leave me? How dare you not say I'm enough? How dare my back hurt your knife?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't stabbed him in the back. They held him up until they couldn't hold him up anymore.
Right.
Tonight, there are people that are struggling and suffering. And these are beautiful people that have never had the opulence that Cody and Robbie have got surrounding them on their walls. But at the end of the day, tomorrow's not a promised thing. It's about who and what we're leaving behind. And believe it or not, I'm a glass half full girl. I've lived rough. Before I met my husband, I was sleeping on the streets for over a year. And there are people out there that are still doing it then, and they're still doing it now. And I've had nothing, but I've had everything at the same time because I had friends.
Mm.
There were people that you could laugh with when you couldn't even get warm.
Right.
And he's on about, oh, he's been done wrong. I'm sorry, you want to be a human photocopier with your DNA and pop out that many children, and you're being sought after for money for one child. How dare you even moan that you have to pay for that one child?
Right. Well, especially
One.
besides step 12 of them. I mean, like his child support would have been crippling. So
you wanted to marry and be the big I am, the big, I don't know how you say it over there, big cheese, big whiz, Mr. I can have more than everyone else. I can do it and I can do it better than you, even though secretly I'm not doing it at all. He wants that. He wants that. He wants the notoriety. Now you've got it. I'm going to give you a gift, Cody Brown. If you ever watch this channel, I'm going to give you now, like I did on Facebook, the very thing you claim you've had all along, right? And this, I'll make this my last point. And then after that, a prayer for Miss Betty and all those poor people tonight. How about this, Cody Brown? Narcissistic, disloyal, betraying, lying, manipulative, selfish, self-aggrandizing, twit-head who doesn't even know how to tie his shoelaces without putting his glasses on straight. You are, by every degree possible, a pie munching, knuckle dragging, peanut eating, beer swilling, womanizing, money laundering twit. There, I bitch slapped you. Alright? Now you can whinge about it. But do me a favour, whinge somewhere else, because yeah, I'll probably still be talking about you in 20 years' time to people. But you will always be the annoying noise in the air that meant nothing to anybody because nobody meant anything to you. Enjoy your life, enjoy your notoriety, and then do us all a favour. Get over yourself and jog on. Seriously. But happy Father's Day, James. You are an amazing person. My love, my prayers, my best wishes to you all. Have an amazing week. And remember, always remember this. We've all got a little imaginary bracelet on. And it's WWBW. No, BD. I'm doing a Robin now. What would Betty do? Remember that. What would Betty do? And that's what you go by. Because she is one hell of a light in this world. Same as James. Same as all you good people out there. And just remember, if you meet someone like Cody, throw stones and run. Run.
Yeah, perfectly into a church. Like,
Yeah, but if there's lightning above it, I can imagine. I reckon Robin stalked him. I reckon she was outside that church in a bush with a little set of binoculars on.
yeah.
Yeah, subject's coming up halfway right now. Yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, she researched him. You know that she was a
Yeah.
thirst trap waiting to happen. No. And if his lovemaking skills are anything like his dance skills, next, move along the bus, please. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, now you take it easy, Michelle.
Right,
Tell
love
your
to you
husband I
all.
said hello. Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah, Albert says to say hello to you, but a bit like you, he can't get me to shut up either. It's fine. Love to you all.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night. Awesome. Said throw stones and run. Probably into a church. Like, not today, Satan. And that's the thing too. Like, I know there was like a like, what's her name? Suki tried to push the whole idea of them getting back on the couch together. No. Some people don't deserve your time. And I think that for Christine, she would have to take a huge step back. Christine, Mary Janelle, and where they are now, in order for them to go back onto the couch with Cody, they would have to take a huge step back. And I don't know if it's worth it for them. I mean, it might be interesting TV, but I don't know if it's worth it for them to do it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have, hold on one second, let me get to it. Sharon. What's going on, Sharon? How you doing?
I'm good, James. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So I got a question. Do you
Sure.
think that maybe the reason he told Mary, because he said she was getting on his nerves from the beginning, you think maybe the reason he told Mary was to try to get her to leave? And
Yes.
at first he was against Robin as far as because she had kids and had previously been married, and that kind of thing. Was he telling that to her so maybe she would run? I mean, he can't make up his mind, and it's like riding a roller coaster with him. So one way is one way, and one way it's something else, kind of thing. So he's such a manipulator. I don't think he really knows what he wants and when he wants it.
You know what? Now that you asked the question, I have just occurred to me that a way that it could have come up is, and this is going to be this is adult, but it could have been right after. If you have a young man, and especially if he's with somebody, like the young man has very little experience with a
Yep.
woman, with women, and he's with a woman who doesn't have a lot of experience because I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck, just in my
Exactly.
parlance. Women need a little more. They have to know more in order to get to that place, right? Men is just more of a
Right.
kind of
Oh, exactly. Well,
that kind of
and
situation.
the other thing, Janelle had already left him at least once that we know of right before they came to the house in Lehigh. So
Mm,
did he not tell her? And she was struggling from the beginning with dealing with Mary and everything. Did he not tell her, afraid because of her earning potential, that she would leave? And did he not tell Christine because of her breeding, so to speak, did he not tell her because she was afraid she would leave?
right.
Because then when he got enough, he sure didn't have a problem saying the opposite. Like when they were in Galveston building the rocks, he didn't go with the ring for her because he knew that's what she would want. He knew
Mm,
he said himself that he knew that's what she wanted, but he just couldn't give it to her.
right.
That it had to be all about the family kind of thing. So he's such a manipulator kind of thing and stuff. You can't tell which way's which kind of thing with him. And that comparison thing, seeing that sort of bugged me when Mary said that last week about they shouldn't be comparing. If she's talking about a man that she wants or who her next partner is going to be, kind of thing, she wants this out of him and that out of him. Is she not thinking about what Cody didn't give her and that's what she wants? Because that's comparison in my mind.
Right.
I mean, if she's thinking, okay, well, Cody didn't do me this way, so my next person, I want them to be able to do this, or I want this kind of person. Well, she's comparing because she knows what she didn't have. So there ain't nothing wrong, to my mind, with what Christine's doing. because if it's still bothering her and she needs to talk about it, honey, bring it out into the light. It cannot survive in the light. If it's in the dark, it can fester. But if it's in the light, it can't go nowhere. It's just there.
Right.
Yeah. And see, the other thing is I just, like I say, I just didn't like that comparison thing. And then when he's talking about her comparing David to him, did you ever see the movie American President with Michael
Yes.
Douglas? And at
Yes.
the end of it, he says, if you want to fight, you need to come at me because she is way out of your league. See, Christine needs to tell him that. If you want to fight, you come at me because David is way out of your league. He is way beyond you. That kind of thing.
I think that's fair. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, I think that Cody's desire to create a position where he has self-importance is so strong that
Oh, yeah.
he created he's creating the comparison. Whereas, like you said, if you dated somebody and they did a whole bunch, like you date somebody and they cheated, they was cheating their asses off on you. Right. When you leave that relationship because this dude or this young lady is such a damn cheater, when you go into your next relationship, you're going to make the comparison. You know what I don't want to do again? That. Whatever that was, I don't want that again. So that's a form of comparison to a degree. Like it's called learning from your experiences. It's not necessarily,
if
I
you
want to
don't
be
remember
back
your
in that
history,
bad situation.
Right. If you don't remember your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
In my mind, that's just that simple. And see, him and Robin's the one been talking about sex and money since day one. She's got a bill to pay. Where does she lay it? On the counter. She wants to come in there and make some great job with making great money and all this kind of stuff. When they're talking about her getting equal time before they're married. What are we talking about? The thing? Why are we talking about the thing if you ain't the married yet?
Right. Why would that even come up? Unless that was something y'all was doing and it was on the table.
Hello, And then you got the part about she's wanting to be friends with Mary, and it's okay with Cody if she's friends with Mary, but Mary don't want to be friends with her, is what he thinks because of Jen. But then when Janelle was still friends with Christine, you weren't happy about it. Right. Even when Robin wanted to still have a relationship with Christine, you wasn't happy about it. So, yeah, that fair thing. And I'm just going to tell you, and it's like you say, James, I'm going to keep it real. I bet you every damn dime they stole from them women that they was doing the deed before the wedding was done.
Yeah.
I mean, every damn dime they stole from them women, I would lay it out there for you that it was going on just as sure as I'm standing here.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. I believe that.
Yeah, that'd be a good bet right there, all that money.
Yeah, because look, I'm a grown-ass man, Doc, and I know, from one man to another, I'm looking right at Cody, and I know that if you that impressed with a woman, you that crazy about a woman, there's no way in the world you're going to be with her and not try. I'm going to say, I'm going to be honest. I think that if he didn't do it, it's not because he didn't want to do it. It's 100% because she didn't want to let him do it. And I do think she let him do it. Like, you understand what I mean? Because
100%.
He's too involved with it. He's too crazy about it. There's no way he was holding the fort and holding it down until they got married. No.
Well, see, no. I saw the pictures before, and I think it was just a pass by in her room or something where it was just on the wall, and it was him and her. She's getting the stilettos and leaning against him, and he's leaning against the car. And you're thinking, yeah, that's a little bit suggestive. Now, the one they showed tonight with her legs wrapped around him from behind and then her up on his shoulders. Yeah, yeah. That's not new position for y'all. I'm just afraid to tell you.
Right. You feeling that heat on your neck. There ain't nowhere in the world. You like, yeah, let's go into the movies. And then let's keep it all the way in stack too. Ain't no man. Look, I'm maybe this makes me crazy, but I don't think there's a person who's driving, man, woman, or whatever. I don't see somebody driving 5 hours, 300 miles to go see somebody, spend a weekend with them every weekend, and you're a grown-ass person and you're staying at their house and you're not trying to do anything. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know.
He needs to lie somebody that believes him, because we're watching it too closely, I guess we'd say.
Yeah. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
No,
I don't buy it.
No, and he needs to quit lying about it, because we all know the truth.
Right.
They may not want to admit, admit it, but we all know the truth. I mean, it just is what it is. Yeah, I'd lay down every dime they stole from them. I'm telling you, I'd lay it every dime down.
Because I think they did too.
Oh, exactly.
But thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Well, I would say this one thing. I'm like Michelle. I'm not wishing it on them, but that's what I would hang around for, is the downfall of Cody and Robin. It's like the shows when you say if the two people get together, then it's going to make the end of the show. Well, the end's coming for this show. That right there, I'd stay for. Because it's coming. Yeah. We ain't wishing it on them, but it's coming, because they've done it to themselves. But I'd hang around for that right there.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch. And the thing is, that's one of the things that will probably even play better. I don't even know if I'll watch a whole season of it, though. That's the crazy part. I will watch maybe a special 4-episode, this is what's going on. But I couldn't watch a full season of them just walking around looking sad and trying to get everybody, because all it would be is them trying to get sympathy from everybody. Whoa, it's me. This is so bad for me. You guys should feel bad for me. I started to GoFundMe. I'm not watching a season of that.
No, no, I wouldn't either, kind of thing and stuff. But I would like to see it wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? Just wrap it on up, folks. Let's just roll it out to where they have to go to David and Christine and say, "Can we stay at your Airbnb for a while?"
Yeah. I heard you got a place.
Yeah, well, no. How about that?
Right. Well, you got to put a deposit down. We take cash.
It's right. Exactly.
Right. I don't take no checks from you, because I don't need nothing bouncing. I don't need no rubber.
No. I don't need no more rubber balls. That's okay.
Right.
All right, Brother James, listen, happy Father's Day, and have a good one, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate the Father's Day wishes. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. Yep. But that's something I didn't think about what Sharon was saying. When did Mary find out? See, like I said, because it takes a little more for men, especially him being inexperienced. If if he was with Mary and she didn't enjoy the experience, with his attitude of I'm always right, everybody else is always wrong, and it's somebody else's responsibility. What the point I was getting to was, I could see a scenario where the reason why he told Mary, and I don't know if this is true or not, but just in my imagination, I can see a situation where he tells Mary, they just get finished doing the do. She didn't enjoy it. And then he looks at her and says, well, it's your fault because I've done it before. And the person I was with, they couldn't get enough because I'm a master of my trade. So because you didn't have a good time, and it's because you don't know what you're doing. There's two of us here, but only one of us don't have experience, Mary. And I can see that situation. With Robin, I can see it being the exact opposite. So with Robin, I can see him telling her more to the point of humble bragging. So it's, I was doing all this wild stuff, and I have 3 wives because, I'm a pimp player. And did I mention that I had previous sexual experiences? Because, again, that goes towards my sexual attractiveness and me being a pimp-ass player. And so I see it it's 2 different reasons why I think that each wife found out. With Janelle, I can see him not mentioning it to her because he's trying to pull her in. He tried to be the sanctimonious one who believes so strongly in his religion that he was trying to get her to convert over to his religion. So you can't really get her to come over to your religion, and you're telling her that you aren't even living by of the precepts or the rules and guidelines of the Mormon faith, the wider Mormon faith, which is nowhere near as intricate as the AUB polygamous faith. So he might not tell Janelle because that would put him in a bad light in front of Janelle. He might not have told Christine because with Christine being, growing up the way she grew up and sheltered the way she was raised sheltered, he wouldn't tell her because that would make, 1, it would make him look bad. And 2, he be giving her a big thing that, like a big chit that she could hold over his head. Like, so if they get into an argument, that'd be something she could reach into the bag and pull out on his ass. And I don't think he was going for it. But yeah, Sharon, like I said, I appreciate you guys calling in because you guys get me thinking about stuff. Sharon definitely got me thinking about that. Next up, we got Negla 3. Negla, you up with the 3 hot 3? What's going on, Negla? How you doing?
Hey, brother. I was calling in. Well, first of all, about the show, but also more importantly, Mama Betty, but she did call in, and she did express her need, and so I just wanted to make sure that her need was expressed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was in the chat. I think it's in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'll go back and check. Well,
okay, but either way, no, it's not. She doesn't need anything. It's just that the fact that like the floods from West Virginia, hit her house.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's what I'm. Not her house, but like the houses near her. Does that make sense?
Her area.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I apologize because her house is on a hill. And so she's not necessarily affected, but she is affected, like with family and friends and things like that. And
well, I mean, to be honest with you, thank God that she wasn't affected that way. She wasn't personally affected.
No, but I understand.
But that goes to what Michelle was saying earlier. There before,
right? Because and I love Michelle, and I'm glad to hear that she called in because I love her too. You know, I always ask about her too. I love Michelle. I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize.
That's what she was saying because you like as much emphasis is placed on the stuff that Cody and Robin have and how much
you know what their shit is bullshit.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
real life. This is real life.
Yeah, the stuff that you have though, like the advantages that you have, the things that you have, you can lose that stuff in an instant. Like you can be sitting in your house laughing and giggling your ass off because you stole all this money. Now you got this big $2.1 million house.
Right.
All of a sudden you get a bad rainstorm and your house is locked down the toilet. And then what are you left? Like kind of what Michelle was saying. I agree with. What are you left with? You know what I mean?
Right. But it's like Michelle didn't do anything bad, but Cody did. You know what I mean? You understand me? Like the McMansion. You know what? Okay, I'm glad it got wiped out in a rainstorm. I am glad it got that mention for Cody and Robert got. I shouldn't say I'm glad. I just I don't. Let me put it this way. I don't want anybody else. You know what I mean? Like I'm thankful that people are safe. We'll put it that way. And then, but with Cody and Robert, or Lord Noodlehead and Robert, the horse she rode in on, I hope it has a long stick from the rear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I really, 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 because he doesn't understand what these women went through. That's 20, 30 years of their lives. And he's like, oh, well, you know what? Mary doesn't like me because, this, that, and other, or whatever. Really, to be honest with you, I think he doesn't like Mary because Leon turned to be, Leon had a different.
Leon, I got you.
Exactly. I really believe that. And Leon was the only child that he was ever, or she was ever able to give him. And then I believe that he didn't like, well, actually, he did like, oh shoot, Garrison's mom. He did love her, Janelle. Yeah, he did like Janelle, but Christine was a breeder. Literally, he used her as a workhorse. Because he pumped out children. Like there were children overlapping. Am I lying or am I wrong?
No, he had kids right on top of each other. That's why he had like graduations where people were
Exactly.
graduating together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, well, I have to make it." And oh my God, I have to make it. It's like, you know what? You didn't say that shit when you was going. Oh, sorry, stuff.
No,
When
no.
you were going into the bed. You know
Yeah, when you was
when
humping
it's
and
going.
bumping, you was all about that life. But now all
Thank
of a
you.
sudden the bill come due. Now all of a sudden
Yeah.
you ain't got nothing to do with it.
And
You know
now
what I
when
mean?
you have to buy a car or something like that, oh yeah, I bought them all cars. You know, you bought them all old raggedy ass cars that they had to fix themselves. And you were teaching them, and you know what, as a, you know what I mean, as a parent, okay, yeah, I understand, you know, teach them how to fix it, but I don't know how to fix a Lexus. Lexus has different parts or whatever. You remember the ragtop
Yeah, it was a
or the,
Lexus. Well, because
was it a Lexus? Yeah.
Lexus is a Toyota basically.
But
Uh
yeah, yeah.
it's a luxury export to US.
Yeah, but
That's what
there are
Lexus
certain
actually
there
stands for.
are certain parts that you can only get, but it is a Toyota, and you're absolutely right, because I had a Chevy Prism, and literally when we first changed the brakes, it was like they were like, "Oh, it's Toyota," and I was like, "No," I said, "No, what?" And no, I said, "I thought they were lying to me." Like I said, "Show me the part that needs to be replaced," and it said Toyota,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, I
Well,
was
I
like,
mean, the funny part about Lexus
no,
versus
it was a
Toyota,
Toyota Corolla. The
yeah.
Chevy Prism was a Toyota Corolla, but it was also Lexus. Lexus owned a company that owned Toyota and Chevy.
Well, it's the other way around. Toyota owns Lexus. But
Is that
because Lexus is the luxury edition, luxury export to US. So
okay?
when you check anytime you do something with a Lexus, it can be more expensive because they have a lot of
Right.
computer stuff that's tied in. So even changing a
Yes.
brake,
Absolutely, you're right.
they have to
You're
use
correct.
the computer to update the braking
You're
system within the
absolutely correct.
computer.
Yes. Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like the
You're
Toyota,
correct.
you can just go do that shit in your yard. Like you can do that in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
driveway.
yeah. You can
But
do it,
Lexus,
but
you
with
need
the
the computer.
Toyota Geo, it was because it was Geo. It was literally the Chevy was actually a Geo. That's what I was trying to say. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
hmm
Does that make sense? But Geo was like an off-brand of Chevy. You know what I mean? Which was, you know, but what you're saying is correct. What you're saying is absolutely correct. And I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you.
No,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So well, I mean, there's certain cars that you got to have like like even having a standard OBD2 is what they call it, the little computer thing that you can change settings with.
Yes.
You
Okay.
can't use like the little $50 OBD2 that you would get from AutoZone. You actually have to have like one of them three,
You have
four
to
hundred
have
dollar
an
jobbies that can go in and
aftermarket
actually check
from,
stuff
yeah,
off. Yeah, it's
aftermarket from like
Yeah, and
AutoZone
that's
or
where they
something.
hit you with the big money because there was a
Yeah.
time like I remember my dad, he took his car to a mechanic and he said there was a part like long time ago, long time when I was a kid.
Uh,
Took it to the mechanic and it was a little ass part that goes on the front of the engine. And he showed it to my dad, like, I gotta change that thing right there.
And
And he
you
said,
like,
well, how
really,
much is it?
really, bruh, really?
And
Look, give me a wrench.
yeah, he
Goddamn,
said
give me a
it's
wrench.
it's the part is $3, but he
Yeah.
was charging him $50 to do the job. He said,
Yep.
why I gotta
Because
pay you $50
labor,
to
labor,
change the part? He
for
said for two
labor.
reasons. One, because I have the I have the knowledge to do it, and two, I have the tool that you need to do it with.
You
And
know what?
that's and
And you
that's
know
what it
what?
comes down to. So when you
You
have a
know what?
Lexus or a lot of the luxury cars, it's
Can
not just because the like changing the brakes are easy, oil changes are easy. A lot of this stuff is easy. But with some of the luxury cars, it's having the specialized tools that they have for those cars is why it costs so much money. That's where you pay like that extra money for the labor and
can
all
I
that
bring
because they're
this full
using their
circle?
specialized ass tools to do it.
Can I
So
bring this full circle? Literally, can I bring this full circle?
sure.
That's why he wants Janelle back. Janelle got the sugar balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand me?
Yeah. I see
Janelle
that.
has the sugar balls that he wants back. Even though, you know, Robin can maybe slide up and down the pole, do whatever the hell she does. I don't know what she does. But Janelle has the sugar walls that he wants. Janelle don't want to have nothing to do with him. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
something that's unattainable for him. Like, does that's where his brain goes. It's like, okay, he knows that what's her name is off limits. Mary might be, and Mary is like kind of wishy-washy. But Janelle is like, I really don't like him. I don't want whatever. But Janelle has the sugar walls. He said that. He said that he loved Janelle. He said that he loved Janelle for what, she provided. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
But he likes Robert because I think Robert does something different, and I'm thinking that anyway. Never mind.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a point, because too often, and this is actually something that
it's a physical.
I've had this discussion with guys before, where to their misunderstanding of just people, you think because you have one woman who does one thing for you, that you can exchange that woman for another woman who did the exact same thing. It's just that maybe she's younger, or maybe she's more appealing physically, or whatever, whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is that
you had a loyal woman who left you before.
Janelle could be the one who is giving you what you need in the boudoir, in the bedroom, whereas Robin is the one who looks the way you want her to look when you walking down the street. So in that sense, not to classify it too crazy, too crass, you could have the workhorse and you could have the show pony. Like
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's good to walk up and down the street with everybody. Wow, that's nice. Ooh, that's amazing. But then you got the one to do work. Then work your ass like a part-time job. That's the one that you be thinking about. That's the one you be missing. That's the one that you leaving work early to go hang out with. You might not take her around. She might not, like a moped, like, fun to ride, but you don't want your boys
you keep her in the back. Yeah, you keep her in the back. Yeah.
Right. But that's the one that you're thinking about. And it could be one of those situations, because regardless of how Robin holds herself out, especially she might hold herself out to be.
Oh, yes, I'm a jeans model.
What you are, what you about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but bitch, do you have brains? I'm sorry. BISH. BISH. I apologize. I don't want to get you demonetized at all. But BISH. Do you want to get? Do you want to? You know what? All right. So, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? You had 3 children for him, or no, actually 2 children. Oh, 3? Was it 3 or 2?
She had 2 kids for him.
2 kids for him. Okay, you had 2 kids for him. Okay. And you did what for the family? When did you live for the family? Or with the family? How long did you live with the family? How long? I apologize. How many months? How many months?
Or Robin lived with the family?
Yeah.
Well, technically, she never lived with the family.
No, she did live. She did live when they were in the split house in Lehigh. She did.
Robin?
But no. They moved. No. She had a rental.
Yeah, up around the corner. Yeah, she
right.
around the corner.
Yeah, but some of her kids. Oh, you know what? She never. You know what? You're right.
Yeah, she never lived with the family.
And that's what I've been trying to tell you. That's what I've been trying to tell people. She never. While she says that she wants sister plural marriage and all this bullshit, she never lived it. She never lived it. And she's like, oh, I lived it. And, it was a bad experience. Bitch, you never lived it. No, you never lived it. Even when you guys went camping, you didn't want your kids to be in the same tent as the other kids. Am I lying? Am I wrong?
No.
literally they went camping for Christmas and like they had to drive up a mountain and shit or stuff like that. And I don't understand that. If you're saying that you wanted all of this, but you never wanted to live it, I don't understand. And the reason why it hurts me so much is because it hurts the kids. Because it's like the kids were trying to understand, you know what I mean? Like, why are these kids like, why is it separate and this, that, and the other? It was already screwed up enough to me personally. That's just a me observation as far as the plural marriage and all this and other. That's their parents' choices and what it is. However, but the thing, they were literally confused. They didn't understand why. Okay, well, I don't understand why dad has to go to that house. And literally, he was living over there. He was living in Robin's house. Am I wrong?
Right.
Like, and not in the married house that he had, which had 3 people. Correct?
Well, because the Mary house, like the Big Lehigh house, had that's where the family stayed. Then you had
Right.
Robin, who lived around the corner. Then they
Right.
moved to Vegas, where they stayed in a rental house for a couple
But
weeks.
and they still stayed with Robert.
Right.
Because
Robin got
allegedly
a
because
house
of COVID.
around the corner first. She got her house first. So he
Yes,
moved
that's
Robin into her house. Then that's when
Yeah.
the family started getting their own houses.
Yep.
Then the closest they lived to each other after that was the cul-de-sac. At
You're
which time
correct.
they sold the
Yes.
house in the cul-de-sac and they went out to Arizona, and they were always like split up miles apart from each other.
Hold on, the cul-de-sac wasn't miles around each other. Literally, Mary said that she built the playground so that the babies could come play, and they didn't have to have any interaction. They could just like come over, cross the street, and play. It was a cul-de-sac.
No, the house that Mary had was down the street from her. No, actually, it was like a mile, 2 miles away in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah,
I
she
never-
rented that place. That was like the third house she rented in Arizona because she got put out of the first one. Then the second one, she was asked to leave the second one, and they had
Why?
firestorms, and they had to leave. And she rented that third place that had the playground in the backyard because she wanted the kids to come over, and the
But
kids
I
never
thought
came
the-
over. But she was about a mile or so away from the
I
from
thought she
Robin.
was in the 4 houses.
Not in Arizona. She didn't live close enough in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, she was about a
I
mile or
didn't
so
know
away.
that.
Huh?
I know I didn't. I honestly didn't know that. I apologize. I did not know that, and I apologize, Jane. I truly, honestly thought that she lived like literally. It was like okay, so it's 2 houses, and I thought the first 2 were her and Robin, and then the next or hold on, then there was what's her name? Christine. Christine had the big one at the back. I thought that was what it was at the cul-de-sac.
No, they were miles apart from each other. They never lived close to each other after they came together for the cul-de-sac, and then they split up. And then the whole purpose of why they were supposed to be moving on to Coyote Pass was that they were going to bring the family back together again. But that never happened. So the whole time, like Robin saying that the point is that Robin had said the whole time she wanted to experience polygamy and the family together and one family.
Yeah, it's just lying.
But she had always kept.
She always wanted
separate.
him. Yeah, she wanted him, and she wanted to be separate because that was what she grew up with. Because her mother, or for some reason, I think her father and her mother was separate.
Well, no,
I mean, it was plural, but it was separate. Does that make sense?
Her father's other family lived in another state.
Right.
Like, so he would spend Monday through Friday, I think it was, with his family. And then he would spend the weekends with Robin and her family.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so he was basically doing the side chick thing.
So she didn't know.
And
Yeah.
she basically
Yeah.
did the same thing with the other family, with the Brown family.
James, I'm telling you, and you know, your wife feels the same way as my husband feels. Like, no. And no. And actually, I'm just telling you this because you're cool people. But I'm just saying, like, me and my husband and you and your wife, no, don't do it. What is wrong with you? I don't understand what's wrong with these people.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but to each his own. To each his own. But
That's fair. I mean, that's
I
fair.
appreciate
All
you
right.
calling
Anyway,
in.
you know what? I gotta go. But
Okay.
but James, you know what? I will tell you again, blessed belated Father's Day, and I thank you for being just cool people. Again, prayers up for Mama Betty, and we'll move along. All right.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
my
good.
buddy.
Thanks.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Good night. Awesome. Yeah, just speaking of Betty, I thought I saw her in the queue earlier, but she's not there anymore. But just so you guys have more of a reference point of what's going on in West Virginia, this is just something I pulled up. Why is that not showing up? What the hell? Let me see. I'm gonna have to do it the other way. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Like looking at what's going on down there. Here we go. It's kind of rough. So let's put some hearts in the chat for Miss Betty and her neighbors and the people around her. Like that, from what I understand, this isn't necessarily her house, but it affects the people in her community, which will affect her. So this is what it looks like. A picture that I found where you see all that water and stuff in there. Like that's a lot of damn water. That's a lot of water. And one of the just from my experience, one of the terrible things, water water is like fire and water, right? I don't know which one is worse, because water, when that gets into your house, that gets into places, like you have electrical problems, structural issues, all kinds of problems. And this is like projected out. And just them being able to get the things that they need in the short term, like being able to house people, clothing, like being able to take care of folk, make sure that they can get what they need to eat. That all is very important. So we'll keep Betty and her family as well as her neighbors in our prayers. Just make sure you guys drop some hearts in the chat for her. Appreciate that. Let me just check one more thing. All right. Saw Daisy Reyes and Rebecca, but they dropped out, which is okay. Shout out to the crew. Let me just check one thing to make sure. Oh, big shout out to Lizzie B. Gifted One My Take On Reality membership, and as it turns out, the universe smiled on Betty, gave her the membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. And congratulations, Betty. Got some announcements with regard to that stuff too. Very excited about it. But let me give Lizzie B a little something, something. All right. To all our big shout out to everybody. Betty Aldridge, as well as Brittany Not Brittany, Daisy Reyes, Kathy Mosley, Kathy Ferran. YouTube is my time machine. Unlimited Lipstick, Janet, and of course Lizzie B for the donation of the membership. Thank you so much. Let me give you guys a little something, something for your super chat. And then as far as what's going on, guys, I've been trying to put some things together. What I want to do and the direction I want to take the channel in, like there's some stuff I wanted to get done. So I'm hopefully at the end of the Sister Wives, we now reached the conclusion of the Sister Wives season 19. We had the wrap, and there might be some additional surprise specials that they run out. I don't know. We'll see. But in light of that, everything being done, I'm going to make a concerted effort to actually try to get some of the stuff out that I wanted to get out, like the Ruby Frankie video and things of that nature. Here's the tweak that I had thought about, and I've been trying to work out how I could get this done. What I want to do moving forward, what I'm going to strive to do is, in addition to the Monday morning motivational videos and all that, which I have coming out, or Monday motivation videos, what I want to do is I'll have a premiere for members that I will do with the Monday motivations. Maybe I'll do the premiere like on a Saturday or so, where we give like an early premiere, and with the members we could sit down and I'll roll the video for you guys early, and then we can sit and talk about it. Do kind of a live for the members, and then I'm going to roll the video for everybody on that Monday. With regard to, and this is what I'm a little excited about, and I'm hoping it works and I can get it off the ground. What I want to do is, if you guys sign up for Facebook, the My Take on Reality group on Facebook, what I plan on doing is I'm going to release a schedule of videos that I have coming out for that week. So I'm going to be doing like videos on 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup, Sister Wives, of course, Hunt for Love. I'll also want to cover like Big Love. I want to talk about Mormon lives, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and things of that nature. Anytime I cover new stuff. And I want to set out a schedule, so you guys, a schedule for the week, so you can see what videos I have coming out. And because I want to cover so many different things and so many topics, one, I have to just organize it so that I can figure out what message or what I want to talk about those videos or those shows or pop culture, whatever. And two, shoot them, edit them, and get them set up so that I can put those videos out for you guys. And because I have so much content that I want to put out, I have to put out a schedule so that you guys know what's coming out, so that you're aware of what's coming out, so you can actually see it when you want to see it, right? What you're interested in. So I'm very excited about that. But make sure you sign up for the Facebook group. That's where I'll do the postings until I can figure out, especially how to do the notifications here on the posts here on YouTube. So I'll be doing it for sure on the Facebook group, but prospectively maybe doing it on YouTube as well. So make sure that you have you subscribe and you hit that bell for notifications, because I'm going to have a lot of content coming out. And just so everybody's aware, in August, I'm going to take a week or so with the family, just to reassure them that I still love them and I care about them, and I'm going to spend time with them. That's what I'm going to do, just to recharge the batteries. But then we'll be back at it, because from what I understand, August is supposed to be a hot month for Sister Wives, because Christine's book is coming out, and I think they're going to roll season 20. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, even with Lizzie B says the Speak Pipe, ask your questions, leave your thoughts, because we're still going to be doing the Speak Pipe live stream on Thursday. So if you anything that I cover or anything that you want to talk about with me, you can leave on Speak Pipe. It's not just for Sister Wives. So anything you want to talk about, leave that message on Speak Pipe and we can have the conversation. This is just a way for you to be able to participate in the show if you don't feel like calling in, or you're not the person to want to call in or text or whatever. You like to just leave a phone message or whatever. This is an opportunity for you to do that. Again, if you don't want me to play it online, I won't. I can always go in and do the messages via email or whatever. A couple people have done that before, which is fine. Or if you don't want me to play the message, but you just want the question out there, pose the question to the audience, I can just do that as well. I just say, James, don't play this between me and you, whatever you want to say. All right. But with regard to the Sunday night show, we're going to roll it a little earlier. The reason why we're kind of here at 1:38 to almost 2 o'clock in the morning is because TLC deemed it fit to post Sister Wives so late, because they're trying to force everybody to watch these other bullshit ass shows, including 90 Day Fiance, that they're not putting no effort into. So That's what it is. Then of course, Christine, of course, has her book coming out in August, and I'm going to get the book, and we'll be doing a book club or book review on that as well. So got a lot of stuff coming up. Just make sure that you're signed up for the you got the bell rung for notifications. A lot of videos dropping. Make sure you join the Facebook group. A lot of fun on there. It's My Take on Reality. If you want to leave something down on SpeakPipe, it's speakpipe.com/My Take on Reality. You got a minute and a half. If you want, call back a couple times. We have some people do that, and then we'll play them on Thursdays and do those meetings. But again, next week we'll be back at 7:00. So that way it's we can make it happen. But I want to thank everybody for calling in and participating. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We've been rocking for 2.5. I said I was only going to do 2, but I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators, Brittany, not Brittany, Carmel Cuties, and of course the OG, Triple OG, Lizzie B. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with a player, support me. I also want to thank all the callers, everybody who kept it cool in the chat. Thank you. We finished another Sister Wives season. We have done it. We have made it. We have succeeded, and we have achieved it. So congratulations, you guys hung in there. Want to give a huge shout out to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the well wishes as far as Happy Father's Day. I appreciate you guys. Let me give you something to show you my appreciation for you. All right, guys, that is my take. And again, check that out, Facebook. And we got a bunch of stuff coming out. I hope you guys are excited about it as much as I am. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't hit that yet. But thank you guys so much for another great evening. I enjoyed my time with you. Thanks so much. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could decide any minute. Go for a ride down the side.